Welcome to another episode of AI Talks with Chris and Nita.
Great to be here.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into how AI gets a handle on human language. We're focusing on a really key technology called BERT.
That's bidirectional encoder representations from transformers. Quite a mouthful.
It is. And our goal today is pretty simple. Figure out what makes BERT tick, why it was such a big step forward, and we're basing this on the original research paper that introduced it.
Okay, let's unpack BERT then. So at its core, it's a transformer-based neural network. But the really crucial part here, it mainly uses the encoder component.
Encoder, right. So unlike some models that might generate text, BERT is really focused on understanding it first.
Exactly. Think of it like prioritizing reading comprehension over creative writing, at least initially. It's about grasping the meaning.
Got it. And the way it actually processes the text is, well, it's different, isn't it? It's not just reading along word by word.
No, not at all. That's the bidirectional part. BERT looks at the entire sentence, the whole sequence of words, all at once. So it considers the context from words that come before a specific word and also the words that come after it simultaneously.
Right, that holistic view. The paper had that great example, something like, the bank is situated on the of the river.
Yeah, that one illustrates it perfectly.
A model just reading left to right might get tripped up on bank, Is it a financial institution?
Exactly. But BERT sees the whole phrase, sees of the river coming up.
And immediately knows, okay, we're talking about a riverbank. Geography, not finance. That simultaneous whole picture view seems really powerful.
It absolutely is. And how it learns to do this is also quite interesting. It's a two-stage process.
2 stages, okay.
First up is pre-training. This is where BERT learns general language understanding. It's trained on absolutely massive amounts of text data. Crucially, this text is usually unlabeled.
Unlabeled, so it's not being explicitly told this means that, it's just figuring it out.
Pretty much. It reads enormous amounts of text, think Wikipedia, books, articles, and learns the patterns, the grammar, the relationships between words just from exposure.
And during this phase, it develops these contextual embeddings, where a word's meaning isn't fixed, but changes based on the words nearby.
Precisely. A key task it uses for this is the Masked Language Model, or MLM.
MLM, right. That's where you hide some words.
Yes, you randomly mask, say, 15% of the words in a sentence. And BERT's job is to predict what those hidden words are based only on the surrounding words, the context.
Ah, okay. So it has to understand the context to guess the missing word correctly. That forces a deep understanding.
Exactly. It forces it to learn how words fit together, how sentences are structured. It also learns relationships between sentences, which is another key aspect.
Okay, so that's pre-training, building that solid language foundation. What's the second step?
Stage 2 is fine-tuning. Now, we take this pre-trained BERT model, which already understands language pretty well.
Right, the generalist.
And we adapt it for a specific task. This time, we use a smaller amount of labeled data specific to that task.
Labeled data, like examples of what we want it to do.
Exactly. So if you wanted to do sentiment analysis, you'd feed it sentences labeled positive or negative. It then quickly learns to apply its general language knowledge to that specific task.
And the paper mentioned it's super versatile, right? You can fine-tune the same basic BERT for lots of different things.
Absolutely. Question answering, identifying names or locations in text named entity recognition, and like entity NLP tasks.
With minimal changes to the core model.
That's the beauty of it. That strong pre-training creates a unified architecture that's incredibly adaptable. It was a major step towards having one model handle many different language jobs effectively.
So boiling it down, the big breakthroughs were really that bidirectional, full context understanding.
Yep, seeing the whole picture.
And that 2-stage process. Learn language fundamentals first from tons of text, then specialize quickly.
Those are the key ingredients. And connecting that back to why it mattered so much, this deeper contextual understanding led to huge jumps in performance on like almost all standard NLP tests back then.
Right, it set a new benchmark.
It really paved the way for the much more sophisticated AI language tools you see everywhere now.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, the listener. Thinking about BERT's power to really grasp context, what are some perhaps surprising ways you think this kind of technology might be influencing your own interactions with language online, or how you find information day to day, maybe in ways you haven't even noticed?
Yeah, it's definitely something worth pondering. Its impact is probably wider than many people realize.